Hello and welcome again to the Writer Review. This is Eric Carruth Writer, and this week we're going to be taking a look back at the 1984 movie titled Against All Odds. The genre of the movie, it's a neo-noir suspense thriller with a touch of romantic drama implemented in the story. It runs for 128 minutes long, and it is directed by Taylor Hackford, and it is produced by Taylor Hackford and William S. Gilmore. The script was written by Eric Hughes, revised from the 1947 script Out of the Past, which this movie it's remade from, by Daniel Manwaring. The score was done by Larry Carlton. The cinematography was done by Donald Thorin, and the editing was done by Frederick and William Steinkamp. And it features on this album, the soundtrack features some great hits from recognizable singers, including Kid Creole and the Coconuts, Big Country, song written by Fleetwood Mac front lady Stevie Nicks, and 3 songs from 3 members of the group Genesis: Peter Gabriel, Mike Rutherford, and of course Phil Collins, who was Oscar nominated for his song Against All Odds, Take a Look at Me Now. And here's what I thought about the movie. For those who consider themselves Jeff Bridges fans, may have never experienced him in this rather obscure film back in the year 1984. Jeff Bridges was definitely eye candy to the female demographic, and it doesn't hurt that a romantic story is added to the crime drama that also stars James Woods and Rachel Ward. The gorgeous Mexican landscape will surely inspire you to reconsider where you plan to go for your next vacation. And if the romance and the island paradise is not your cup of tea, there's also a story that's filled with conniving, dirty, backstabbing scoundrels, corruption, greed, money, and power that will likely keep fans of the noir suspense genre intrigued. Jeff Bridges stars as Terry Brogan, a football player trying to make a comeback after being on the shelf with a shoulder injury. But due to a political loophole, Brogan is not conditioned to come back to the team, and he is inevitably cut. Suffering from financial debt and nowhere to turn to, he is contacted by a sleazy nightclub businessman named Jake Wise, played by James Woods, whose reputation is not very clean. Jake is also not on very happy terms at the moment, because his girlfriend Jessie, played by Rachel Ward, who is the daughter of the owner of the football team that Terry plays for, betrayed him, stabbed him in the leg, took his money, and now she is AWOL. With an act of desperation for money, Brogan arbitrarily agrees to help Wise look for Jessie, and sure enough, when he finds her, he is reluctant to bring her back to Jake Wise, as he eventually falls head over heels for her. They soak up some sun around the Riviera. They even get involved in some sweet romance amongst the Mayan temple. They frolic in the sand, which leads to Jake bringing in a hired hand to see what the hell is going on. Things take a turn from the worse as the lovebirds find themselves in a precarious situation that neither of them can escape, let alone Terry. Do they have any chance to escape their fate before it is too late? The love triangle is surprisingly very engaging, even though the situations that is faced in this movie has been done thousands of times before. But this one was actually quite engaging. The chemistry between Jeff Bridges and James Woods is very intriguing, and the romantic angle between Rachel Ward and Jeff Bridges will definitely surely make your heart melt like a snowman in a microwave. The suspense is also quite engaging, the thrills are exciting, and the action can get pretty intense at times. But there's also a few weaknesses too. The crime drama can tend to have its share of awkward moments as well. Brogan has eventually become a man on a mission, even through blackmail, and now he is a man running for his life, all on account of just looking for some extra money to get himself out of debt. The premise can at times be quite surreal, and the twists and turns can leave you puzzled, thanks mainly to the script by Eric Hughes. The plot of the story definitely gets lost in the shuffle at times, and the good relaxing time on the beach, well, let's just say it was a wipeout. Performance-wise, Jeff Bridges plays his role quite convincingly as a wounded man, a naive guy who put his foot in the wrong place, as he never should have been in from the beginning. The man has a heavy burden on his shoulder, and he succeeds very well in carrying it. I was never really a fan of Rachel Ward, but let's just say at least she's not sore on the eyes. And the dialogue between hers and Jeff Bridges is well executed, but his attraction to her is well obvious and not very well hidden. James Woods is in his usual territory as a slimy, backstabbing, remorseless scoundrel who has no problem dealing with anyone who crosses his path, even if it isn't always pretty. I mean, James Woods practically can play these kind of roles with his eyes closed. I mean, he is just plain natural at playing slimy people, either as antagonists or anti-heroes. If you want really good 80s references to this movie, well, let's face it, George Papadopoulos himself, yes, that's right, the patriarch character from the TV series Webster is also in this movie, Alex Karras, and he actually has a good supporting role as a coach and a sponsor to Mr. Brogan. And though the story has its share of lopsided scenes, it's still one worthy to enjoy. For Jeff Bridges fans who overlook this one should see him well in his prime. He brings his charm and personality here like he's done in the 45 years he has graced the silver screen. It will surely please everyone who enjoys romance, suspense, and action. If I was to give this movie a scale out of 10, I would definitely give it a 7. I really, really enjoyed the film. I mean, I'm not like putting down the suspense and the crime drama genre into the mix. I mean, it was engaging. I mean, it was unpredictable, and you know, usually movies that are unpredictable, well, you know, as long as you keep me intrigued, I'm very, very satisfied. Sure, I know it seems a bit lopsided, confusing, but I think maybe there was like too much pepper in the soup, so to speak. And what I mean by too much pepper in the soup, the twists and the turns become so overwhelming, you're left in the end scratching your head, like, what the hell just transpired here? But, you know, it's kind of like an homage to many of the 80s crime dramas. Such ones that come to mind include Magnum P.I., Miami Vice, Cagney and Lacey, Heart to Heart. You know, those kind of dramas. That was kind of like what this movie reminded me about. You know, they had plenty of those kind of movies in the 80s, and I guess they had some good 80s culture to it. They had to put in Webster's adoptive father in it. So, and it's been a long time since I actually heard Phil Collins' Against All Odds. Take a look at me now. I mean, I know back in the 80s they played this song quite incessantly, but it was just so fun to hear this song again. Phil Collins was definitely one of the great legendary singers in the 80s. Of course, he started his career in the 70s with Genesis, started as a drummer, and then once Peter Gabriel left, he became the front man of the group. And he's still going strong today at 64 years old. There's no signs of him slowing down in any way possible. But, if you want a good taste of 80s nostalgia, well, this is another reason why this movie should not be ignored. Of course, I want to tell you that this movie was the remake of a 1947 movie out in the past by Daniel Manwaring, and I believe a couple of alums that was from that 1947 movie comes back to this remake, including Jane Greer, who played the female lead in the 1947 original movie out in the past. She played a character that Rachel Ward is kind of playing off, although they're going by different names. In the movie out in the past, Jane Greer goes by the name Kathy Moffat, and of course Rachel Ward is playing a character named Jessie Weiler. I believe James Woods is playing off the Kirk Douglas character, and Jeff Bridges is playing off the Robert Mitchum character. It was kind of like a little bit disappointing that neither Kirk Douglas or Robert Mitchum would make an appearance once in a while, but it was still good that one of the main principal cast members from that 1947 movie decided to make an appearance in this movie as football owner Grace Weiler, who shows total lack of support for Jesse to get romantically involved with either Terry Brogan or Jake Wise. Particularly Jake Wise, since he's not exactly one of the cleanest people you'll ever meet. I know what I mean by not the cleanest. I don't mean like he's a dirty pig or anything like that. He's just a sleazy slime ball who will betray you in any way, shape, or form. And I gotta admit that James Woods has had a notoriety for playing these kind of roles, and he plays it very effectively in it. If you didn't get a chance to see Against All Odds, I would recommend anybody to see it. It probably may appear on television, or it's also good to get the DVD, because the DVD has some great features in this movie, including a commentary interview with Jeff Bridges and James Woods, and during their interview they seem to ham it up like as though as if they were like the best of friends. I really enjoyed the commentary. It's really special. You gotta rent the DVD if you really truly are a fan of James Woods. I would recommend you guys to get it as soon as you can. If you're a traveler and you like to look at the Mexican landscape, or if you've never been to Cozumel and you'd like to go there, well, the scenery is just pure sublime. The photography was excellent. Well, I guess this ends my writer review. Thank you all for listening. If you have any comments, please feel free to leave a comment. Remember, be kind, be courteous, and I will be back with another review. So until then, keep watching those movies, and take care of yourselves. Goodbye.